Hi, I'm Lois, and I'm a coach who helps other coaches develop their businesses. One of the questions that I get asked a lot is, how do I expand my capacity to do work? It just seems like there's so much that's demanded of me. I'm being pulled in so many directions. How do I do this? How do you do it? Boy, we'd like to hear how you do it because we're always looking for ideas. But let me share with you what I've learned, what Joe and I have together learned in terms of how do you grow your ability to do more, your capacity for being a coach and for being a marketer as well. Both are essential. You've got to do both or you won't have a business. And so one of the things that I have learned is don't do things alone. I started by doing things alone and I was overwhelmed. There was so much to do. And then I met Joe, and as we began to share what our journeys were as coaches, we said, why don't we work together? And this problem can be solved together. We can approach it together. And it was a remarkable relief in one way. And in another way, it was the beginning of opening a door to looking and thinking in other directions, in more creative ways. When you get bogged down and you feel your capacity has shrunk, your thinking also shrinks. And so don't do things alone. Share with people. There's communities. We have a community that we've created that's for you as coaches just to share, because we know how important that is. So find partnerships, find people to work with, and then build a community in which you can feel comfortable, secure, and really share what it is that you're concerned about, what your pressures are, what your needs are, and then be willing to step up and help one another, because that's what communities do. And when we do that, we grow personally, but so do all the people around us. And it's such a fun journey to be on then. The second thing that I would say is look for measurable results. If you don't use measurable metrics to look at what you're doing, you won't know whether or not you've made progress. And I think one of the things that's hardest when you're an entrepreneur and you're starting a coaching business is to look at what really is my progress? Am I getting where I need to get? So one of the things that coach, she teaches coaching in an accredited program, said to me was, make a discipline out of talking to at least one new person a day, even if that's only in the grocery line saying, hi, I'm Lois. I coach coaches who want to grow their business. What do you do? Now you're getting in the habit of talking about what you offer, what you provide. Who knows? Maybe that person you just met in the grocery line has a son, a daughter, a neighbor, somebody who needs your help. And so we never know when we're going to come across people who are going to need what it is that we have to offer. The third is know what the challenges are that people are experiencing in their business so that you can really help to meet them. And all of us would love it if somebody would just come and wave a magic wand. And the reality is, it's not the way life is. There isn't really a magic wand to be waved. However, there are systems and there are ways in which you can create things and bring things together so that they don't have to be so painful. And so discovering what those are, knowing where those resources are, it's critical. And so one of the things that Joe and I have worked really hard on is creating that for ourselves. and also a space where we can begin to share that with other coaches, because we know from our own experience how critical that is. So those are three that I have thought of. Joe, you have some others. Can you add to our list?
Yeah, sure. There's a couple that I would like to cover. One of them is learning how to handle that rejection. So you need some very active strategies for overcoming rejection. Now, we would all kind of like to think that we're in a position in life where we have such intrinsic value that we aren't concerned about what other people say and what other people think. However, the truth is that after you've heard 30, 60 no's in a row, or you've heard the crickets over and over again, and you've no phone calls coming in, no revenue hitting your bank, that's rejection. And we have to learn how to process that. So there's a couple of things that you can do to learn how to process that and to do so in a healthy way. And it's not going to just benefit you in this particular aspect of your business. It's going to help you in a lot of other aspects of your business as well. And that is a review and reflection time. One of the things that you will learn, the higher the success level that someone has had, the more likely you're going to find somewhere in their daily, weekly, or monthly habits that they have a very extensive review process. And that review process allows you to sit down, and you will literally block this time out on your calendar and make it sacred. So for Lois and I, it's 2 hours on Friday evening. You sit, it's sacred time. It doesn't get disrupted. It doesn't get scheduled over. Things don't get in the way, because without this time period to actually sit down and review and reflect on how the week went and what went right, what went wrong, what can I do differently next week? Did I make my goals? Did I not make my goals? What were the reasons for that? That review and reflection time allow you to process things in a healthy manner. And you begin to look at things as one of my mentors said on a podcast I was listening to recently, he said, you need to look at life through the lens of curiosity and stop being trapped by what just happened and just look at it through this lens of curiosity. Ooh, what could I have done differently that would have resulted in a different outcome? How can I look at this rejection? How can I look at this no? How can I look at this email that only got an open rate of 5% versus 30%? What was the difference in those two emails? How can I look at that? How do I look and review and reflect on that? The other thing you can do is you can actively listen. Did I hear a no? Or did I hear a rejection? One of them has to do with your offer, and one of them has to do with you. And most of the time, what you're going to find is it has nothing to do with you, nothing whatsoever to do with you. It has something to do with your offer. And your offer can show up in your presentation, either on so the work you do before you get to meet and talk with your potential client, or what you do afterwards, where you're talking with that potential client. You need to listen to what they're saying, because they're probably giving you some clues on what was wrong with your offer. And if you can separate your ego from your offer, that's really going to help you as well. That's a free bonus in there, by the way. The other thing that you need to do in order to kind of expand and really grow yourself is to get comfortable being a salesperson. And if the message that just came out of your head, you're just listening, you go, oh, I hate salespeople. Do you think you can carry that in your mind and project something different to a potential client? The answer is no. It's an obvious no. Another one of my mentors puts it this way: being a salesperson is not only the oldest profession in the world, it's one of the most honorable professions in the world. There's not a stitch of clothes you wear, there's not a piece of food you put in your mouth, there's not a drop of water that goes in, there's nothing in your life that didn't get sold to someone by a salesperson. And if you think about the blessings that you have in your life and that you're offering to other people, you need to get really comfortable with being a salesperson and getting good at it. And this is a good thing. Here's a metric that you can think about that may help you understand this a little better. When the doorbell rings and you go answer the door and it's somebody that's got a toothbrush and a spray bottle and they're cleaning your bench out front, or they're cleaning your sidewalk or your driveway, does it bother you? Or do you seek an education? Because they probably have training that you don't have on how to sell their product to you. It is a great opportunity to get in front of somebody and see what they're doing right, see what they're doing wrong, and learn from that process. If it makes you mad, you might not be a salesperson yet. Yeah, you don't always have time for that. And there's a time when you just have to know how to close the door. I get it. I've had to do that myself. But sometimes it can be such an educational process to watch what they're doing and what they hand you and how they interact with you. And maybe you get some good takeaways that you can use in your business. The last piece is having a good follow-up process. If you have a good build-up to you get that client on the phone, or you get them on a Zoom call, or you do a one-on-one meeting with them, and all that is good, but you don't have a follow-up process, you're really losing out. Maybe 20, 30 years ago, the buzz going around was that if you want to capture somebody's attention, you have to have at least 7 engagements. On average, that number is right around 67 engagements now, particularly if you're using any sort of digital marketing. It's about 67, and it's all the way up to over 140 engagements before you get your first interaction. That shouldn't scare you whatsoever. Look at as you scroll through Facebook, if you have the social media or whatever your channel is, I don't care if it's on TV, if it's on your phone, you're scrolling through something, either visually scrolling or with your thumb. You're going through these things. You're getting hit by hundreds and hundreds of marketing pieces every single day, whether you're aware of it or not. I don't care if you're driving down the road and looking at billboards, whether you're watching TV and a commercial pops up every 7 minutes, or whether you're scrolling through Facebook and you're getting hit every as a piece of marketing material. You're getting hit over and over and over again. And you can do that too. That's one of the things that Lois and I teach, is how to become that person that something makes you want to stop and reread. Oh, we teach you how to do that. So anyway, these are just some tips that we have learned over the course of time that we wanted to share with you on how you can expand your influence and expand your circle and just really grow as a coach and as a human being. We're so excited for you and your business. We want to see you succeed, and we're here to help you. Let us know by posting some comments and asking your questions, and we'll get back to you as soon as we can on them. We can't wait to talk to you again next time.